Yo, it's for Marcus and Morsini back in the video. Today we'll be doing a Bloons Tower Defense video, and that'll be just the gameplay in the background. We're talking about some football. It's week 1 of the NFL season has ended. Week 2 just started as of my recording this video, so we have a ton of stuff to talk about. We'll also touch on some college football as well. So without further ado, let's dive into one thing. I'll just make a real quick note of the gameplay. This is my favorite strategy in Bloons Tower Defense battles. I've been playing a lot more because if you guys saw my post, I smashed my thumb in a car door. So I have not been able to really play anything like COD Mobile wise because my thumb hurts a lot when I like press it down or really do anything to it. I should lose my nail in the next couple days. So just an update for that. Now for the sports stuff, let's talk about Texas Longhorns versus Michigan Wolverines right there. That was a big game. Pretty much probably the biggest game Texas will play all season until they play for, like, I guess the SEC championship or whatever. Definitely not how I expected to go. I mean, we pretty much demolished them. I am a Longhorns fan, for anybody wondering. And it's not necessarily like, I think we should win this year. I think we can win it all this year. I know being a Longhorns fan, it's like this is our year every year. It's like being a Cowboys fan. It's the same thing. But this should be our year. I don't really know if we defensively are as good, but we should be able to handle most of these teams. And I think we don't really have a tough schedule. Like, our next 3 games are all unranked opponents. And I'm pretty sure our next ranked opponent is Oklahoma. So they should be our best competition. And playing against Oklahoma is always going to be, you know what I mean? That's Red River rivalry. You know, that's a big deal. So should be a good season. I'm kind of looking forward to it. Next up, we'll talk about week 1 of the NFL season. We have the Dallas Cowboys. I'm a Cowboys fan, for anybody wondering. We beat the Cleveland Browns 33-17. I'm not surprised. I thought we were going to win. I didn't know why we were not the favorites to win. I don't really understand that. Why people think Cleveland will be good with Deshaun Watson at quarterback. He hasn't proven anything since the rape allegation. I don't know what he did. He did something. Ever since those allegations of his sort of masseuse love, I don't think he's really been good at all at anything. So I'm pretty sure we should not be like favored to lose to them or something. It doesn't make any sense to me. But we beat the crap out of them, as we should. I don't really have much else to say about that. Anybody who watched the game? I didn't get to watch the game. I was on an airplane, so I watched like the first 2 drives. Then I hopped on an airplane. By the time I landed, the game was over. So not something I got to watch. But I will be watching most of the games for the rest of the season, so at least there's that. And then you got the other games that were kind of important in week 1. The Jets versus 49ers on Monday Night Football was a very good game. I did watch that entire game. I had a lot of stuff writing on it in fantasy. I'll show those pictures at the end of the video, all my fantasy teams from week 1, how they did. But I literally won by half a point, which is pretty crazy. So winning by half a point, not necessarily ideal, but I did do it. Breece Hall got 1 carry on the very last drive of the game for, like, I don't know, 20 yards. And that pushed me over the edge. I only needed him to get like 15. So that was nice. I did appreciate that. Not to mention I was playing against Kittle and Purdy in the same game. So them both like staying under 10 points made it easier for Breece Hall to outscore both of them, which is exactly what I needed him to do. That being said, very good game overall. I think everybody's kind of expecting the Jets to be good this year. It's just that's a really tough matchup. I mean, the 49ers are pretty much guaranteed to go to the playoffs every season, that they have this insane super team of people. And I think this is just another year where they're going to be really good all season. Probably win maybe 14 games and probably got a free ticket to the NFC Championship. So we'll see what happens with that. Oh, another good game that I watched parts of was the Sunday night game before I got on another airplane. It was the Rams versus Detroit, the Rams versus Lions, a rematch of a game, I guess, sometime last year. I forget when it was, but very good game. Pretty much, it all boiled down to it was tied, right? Matthew Stafford is underrated. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. He's one of the only Super Bowl champion quarterbacks that still exists in the NFL, and deservedly so. He deserves all the credit in the world. Absolutely, just a great quarterback. I love me some Matthew Stafford. I don't have him in fantasy, but I should look into that actually. He doesn't have rushing upside. For anybody who does play fantasy football and is watching my video, Matthew Stafford doesn't have rushing upside, so he's just not as valuable. You could be a great real-life quarterback, but if you don't run the ball, you're not really worth as much as like Josh Allen, who's a great quarterback and he can run the ball a lot, even though he didn't do this good on Thursday night, which we will get to this Thursday night game, the Dolphins versus Bills. But another game I'd like to cover. Oh, wait. David Montgomery, by the way. That drive by Detroit in overtime where they just handed off to him 8 times just shows what the Lions can be. I have the Lions picked to go to the NFC Championship. That's my pick. I really want to see them do well. I love that team. I just think they have like the coach, Dan Campbell, always going for it, not afraid of really anything. So I really like that team. I hope they do well. I'm a big Sun God fan, like just a good team. I really like the Lions this year. So any other important games that happened? Not really. I guess the Bills-Cardinals game was kind of a good game to watch, but it was not really. A lot of disappointments in that game. Everybody's expecting Marvin Harrison Jr. to be Marvin Harrison. So he needs some time before he can develop into that. So we'll see what happens. Next up, we do have to cover the Thursday night game for week 2. So that was the Dolphins versus Bills. Tua Tagovailoa versus Josh Allen. And notoriously speaking, I'm pretty sure Tua and the Dolphins are 1-6 against Josh Allen and the Bills in his career. That's horrible, but this game showed how bad it was. It was a horrible game. The Dolphins looked awful. Tua didn't look good. And then the Bills, I had James Cook in one of my fantasy teams, and I had him in another fantasy team, but I didn't start him because I have Jordan Mason, so it's like a really tough decision on who to start. But I'm not like, do I sit Pacheco and start Jordan Mason, or do I sit James Cook and start Jordan Mason? It was just a whole controversy. I didn't know what to do. So I didn't start Jordan Mason. I didn't start James Cook, and he had 28 points. The problem with James Cook is they steal his touchdowns. Josh Allen had like 2 rushing touchdowns in week 1. One of those should have been James Cook. Like, hand that dude the ball. He's called a running back for a reason. But yeah, so the Thursday night game, not a lot going on. I just watched James Cook rack up fantasy points on my bench in one league and then absolutely save me in another league. So that's kind of how fantasy football works when you're in multiple leagues. That being said, the big thing to talk about obviously is the Tua Tagovailoa injury. So he was doing like a horrible game. He was playing awful, but about like third, fourth quarter sometime, he decided to run up the middle like on a scramble, and he ran into Damar Hamlin and just kind of like knocked his head into his stomach or whatever, fell down and just started like seizing or whatever that is. And he did this once in a game maybe a year or two ago, I think 2 years ago, and everybody was super concerned, like, should he retire, this, that, and the other. And now that it's happened again, there's way more retirement talk. Like, everybody's like, just retire, bro. Call it quits. You know, you've already made, I don't know, what is he making, $150 million contract or whatever it is? You know, I mean, that's generational wealth. So he's pretty much set for life. And it's not like he needs to further deteriorate his CTE, mental health, whatever people call it nowadays. So, very interesting situation there. The Bills obviously beat the crap out of him. I think it was 31-10. And I think they had like 24 points going into halftime. They didn't really they didn't have to do nothing in the second half because they were just beating the crap out of them. There was nothing the Dolphins could do. And the Dolphins, I mean, with the backup quarterback, they're going to be horrible, I suspect. Like, I don't know. I don't foresee them winning hardly any games with that guy if he plays like he did in the second half of that game. So, interesting. Maybe they can get Tom Brady to come back. Tom Brady can go play quarterback for the Miami Dolphins. Anyway, that pretty much covers all of that. Going into week 2, I think Cowboys are playing the Saints at home. So Cowboys are really good at home. So we should beat the crap out of the Saints. I don't care what the Saints did to the Panthers in week 1. I think they beat them like 47-10 or something crazy. I don't think that matters. Panthers are practically a high school football team at this point. Like, I bet you, who's the best high school team? Like, IMG Academy or Mater Day or whatever they're called could probably beat the Carolina Panthers. At this point right now, I am willing to say that they could beat them. Okay, a college team could definitely beat them. I'll take Alabama or Texas or Georgia over the Panthers every day of the week and twice on Sundays. The high school team is the question. Best high school team in the country. Can they beat them? That's a bunch of 5-star recruits. You know what I mean? They may not be grown men yet. They may not have that kind of strength, but I still have faith. So yeah, interesting to see how that game's gonna go. I have us. Obviously, I'm a Cowboys fan. I think we should beat the crap out of them. Any other big games this week? I don't think there are too many. I guess Pittsburgh is playing Denver, so it's good to see how Justin Fields will do. That should be a very interesting game. Hopefully he does well. I'd like to see him do well. For anybody who doesn't know, I was on that TV show called QB1 back in 2018 when I was in high school. I wasn't on his team. I was on a different quarterback's team, the Oceanside school. So if you have seen that show, you may have seen me on that show because I was there. So yeah, that's pretty much it for that. Fantasy football stuff, I'll start posting all my teams now. I'll just cover up their side. And a touch about this gameplay right now, as you guys have probably seen if you're watching it, I just destroyed like every rush he sent me. So it was a really good gameplay of like good defenses you can do with this setup. I just ran with a bunch of full auto rifles and kept my sniper farms up because I didn't want to lose them. But came in pretty clutch. I did a pretty good job against these rushes. And he was super aggressive, which is nice, which means I can like be more defensive and work on microing and being better at that kind of thing. Since I'm not really playing COD Mobile right now, my thumb's obviously messed up, and I play with both thumbs. So having one thumb to play COD Mobile isn't really ideal for doing well in gameplays. That being said, I pretty much covered everything with this video. And football, looking forward to this week. I'll probably do one of these once a week now, just because until my thumb heals, especially the next couple weeks. So, yeah, covering all the football stuff. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications if you like football, because there will be plenty of it over the next 4 months. And yeah, it's been your boy Marcus Morcini. I am out of here. Peace.